Welcome back to my channel. Subscribe because you will find my videos interesting. Like and comment your views in the comment section below as I continue to bring you interesting stories and trending videos. The issue of the US issuing a travel advisory on the Bahamas and Jamaica has brought a lot of talk on social media. In my previous video, I shared TikTok reactions by Americans where some were saying that even though America has issued this travel advisory, they are not going to cancel their trips for anything. But in this video, I share responses from Jamaicans themselves concerning the travel advisory that the US issued. Is there any country without crime? Of course not. People just tend to get used because that's where they're from. So they tend to know where to go and where not to go in order for them to be safe. But the most important thing when you go to another country is to be cautious about the places you go to and make sure to be always in safe places. Come with me as you hear what Jamaicans had to say about this issue. I will be right back.
Travel advisory are saying that people should not travel to Jamaica, and if you have a trip coming up to Jamaica, you should cancel. My question is though, what's the travel advisory in traveling to the United States? When in some states you got people locked in basements, you got serial killers, you know what I mean? What's the travel advisory going to Louisiana, who is the most violent state in the United States? What's the travel advisory going to Chicago? You know what I mean? I don't know. Jamaica is, and everything them put out about Jamaica is factual. Them maybe just put this out there for cramp the tourism sector in Jamaica. I don't know why. But more crimes are in some states that could ever be in a Jamaica. Yeah, do no research. Jamaica is not as criminal-like they make it seems. I'm not saying crime is not there, but crime is everywhere. You know, crime is everywhere. But America have this thing for cover up their crimes perfectly. The problem with Jamaicans, we love to hear our dirty laundries on the internet too much when America hide for them one. Louisiana is the most violent state in the whole of the United States. Chicago, they're right up there. Till them call, you know, Chirac, you get it? So I don't want to tell the people about don't go to Jamaica. All you have to do when you go to Jamaica, just stay within the tourist areas, the resorts of Jamaica. Nobody, you don't know the place, so nobody straight. It's that simple. Stop trying to bring down Jamaica, man. I want to know. And at a time like this, when the Bob Marley movie got released, who not try? Who not depend? You see how small Jamaica is? And every turn in a turn, there's something about Jamaica. Why? Because Jamaicans are chosen. I want to like that. Big up still.
The United States government has issued another travel advisory for its citizens regarding travels to Jamaica. The US authorities cited widespread violent crimes and lack of security and medical infrastructures as the reason for the advisory. In the document, reasons such as widespread crime or presence in places not limited to all-inclusive resorts. It also stated that whenever assistance is required from law enforcement, it is usually not available. And whenever it is available, the proper facilities are not in place to assist those in needs. It also went on to state that whenever an arrest is made, prosecution that led to a conviction is hardly ever present. Not only that, it went on to state that whenever there's a medical emergency, especially if in terms of obtaining medical records, not limited certificates, these time frames can be a long stretch. Now, for those who are quick to say, yo, leave Jamaica alone, everything all right, tell me, where is the lie in this advisory? What point that the US authorities stated in this advisory that is not true? What point have the US authorities posted in this advisory that has not been brought forth by people like myself and others? What point that was brought forth that was not placed on the table in front of our leaders for them to address them? Not one. So now, when you see our food basket being in jeopardy, because we have people who refuse to do the right things, people who refuse to listen. If you are not willing, as a leadership brass of a nation, to provide proper medical facilities for your own people, why would a foreign country trust you with their people? Why would a foreign nation trust you with their people? That's common sense, you know? If you not treat your pitney good, why should I send my pitney a yard? Common sense. So again, point out the lie in that advisory. And when you find the lie, let me know.
So in the video right there, so you just hear say Jamaica and Bahamas have a travel advisory, which is crazy to me because everybody knows that America should have the biggest travel advisory. So ladies, if you want to go to Jamaica and get rubbed down on the raft and use plastic bag, yes, me know about the plastic bag thing. Or fellas, you want to go Bahamas or Jamaica for go get your Jamaican girl or a Bahamian girl, you need to go. Because yes, so you good because that me I tell you, America need a blood clot travel advisory. Remember, so Florida me living now. The man I eat man face. Fire for that by the way, but man I eat man face. And not even people alone you have to fear that. Animal them a try kill you have blood clot, alligator, crocodile, rats, spider, snake, all them things. And the worst thing I saw is the taxes. Taxes go before anything else because the stress. Stress alone to make America #1 on travel advisory. That me I try to tell you. So all them foolishness there, go travel, enjoy yourself. Because yes, in America, you go live there.
The U.S. Department of State have issued a travel advisory advising its citizens to avoid travel to Jamaica based on the fact that the country is plagued with violent crimes such as armed robbery, home invasions, assaults, and it also advised that assault not only take place in the common areas but also at the tourist resorts, all-inclusive resorts. Now, it went on to state that local police often do not do an effective job in investigating and prosecuting perpetrators of these crimes. Imagine that. Now, it also stated that families of victims of violence and deadly crashes in Jamaica have to wait up to a year to obtain certificates for their loved ones. U.S. employees at the U.S. Embassy in Jamaica are also advised not to venture outside of a specified area. No, it also states that the hospital and medical services in Jamaica are not on par. Hence, U.S. citizens should avoid the nation because they cannot be taken care of should they have a medical emergency. Now, watch this now. All these things that's in this advisory are things that the locals have been stating every day. And we have people come out and bash us. Now, I am waiting on a speech that says something like, don't matter how much them talk about with all-inclusive resorts, don't matter how much they talk about the crime and the violence, don't matter how much they talk about the home invasion, we are this and we are that. I am waiting for that speech. Why don't I hear a speech bashing the U.S. State Department for advising its residents and citizens not to travel to Jamaica? Imagine that, you know. And when the locals who have a vision speak on these things, it's an issue. But here we go. Here we go. Worldwide. It's on the U.S. State Department website. Big, clear, bold. The world can see it. They don't have to be someone on a TikTok lineup. No, they don't have to go on it. No, it's right there. It's all over the news in the U.S. So it's not hiding. Go ahead, bash the news networks. Go ahead, bash the U.S. government. Those are the things that I'm talking about. A group of reactive individuals who think they understand what they're doing because of the authority they hold, and not using common sense and proper judgment in what they do, in what they say, in how they act, in how they behave, in how they address sensitive issues. Jamaicans, all away enough, some have sense, yeah?
Now, Montego Bay in Jamaica is a popular tourist location in the Caribbean nation, which, like other countries, is struggling to bounce back from the COVID-19 pandemic. But the governments of Jamaica and the Bahamas are pushing back against a recent advisory by the U.S. State Department warning Americans visiting both places to be aware of violent crime, including a wave of recent unalivings, insists that the island nations remain safe for tourists. Notwithstanding the advisory, Jamaica remains not only a desirable destination but a safe and secure destination for international visitors. Tourism Minister Edmund Barley told the Miami Herald, "Sometimes the unintended consequences of policies is they cause great harm and damage the stability and safety of other countries." The State Department issued updated travel advisories for both countries last month. Though the risk levels did not change, the update came amid an unaliving spree in the Bahamas, where there were 18 unalivings since the start of the year. Jamaica had 33 edge sites in the first 13 days of this year. The risk level remains at 3 for Jamaica, reconsider travel, and level 2, exercise increased caution for the Bahamas. The highest risk level is 4, do not travel. Now, both travel advisories have language warning visitors that assaults, armed robberies, and other violent crimes are common. Similar to the Bahamas, we're aware of instances regarding U.S. citizen victims of violent crime, but are unable to comment on this further due to privacy considerations, the spokesperson said about Jamaica. Now, the Jamaica Constabulary Force later said that despite the double-digit unalivings, edge sites in Jamaica were actually trending down compared to the same time last year. The Jamaica Tourist Board said the crime rate against visitors to Jamaica remains extremely low at 0.01%, while Ballet noted that 42% of the island's visitors are returning tourists. We have a 42% repeat business, which tells you that of the 4.1 million who visited last year, 42% have been to Jamaica before. Now, he acknowledged, however, that there are imperfections in the country which is struggling to build a strong economic base to enable its citizens to enjoy a higher standard of living while also marketing itself as a premier Caribbean destination. The travel alert for Jamaica has been at level 3 since March 14, 2022. Before that, it was level 4 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It was previously set at level 2 on December 13, 2021. We are committed to working on our areas of imperfection and to ensure that where we see weakness, like in some of the areas indicated, as our economy improves and our resources allow, we will solve all our health and social problems, Ballet said. Now, on January 24, a day after the State Department reissued its Jamaica travel alert, the U.S. Embassy in Nassau also issued a security warning for American travelers. U.S. citizens considering visiting the Bahamas were advised to be aware that 18 unalivings have occurred in Nassau since the beginning of 2024. Unalivings have occurred at all hours, including in broad daylight on the streets. Retaliatory gang violence has been the primary motive in 2024 unaliving. The day after the alert, the Bahamas Tourism Minister and Deputy Prime Minister Isaac Chester Cooper visit Tallahassee to pitch the archipelago as a destination to the leadership of the Florida Federation of Alpha Chapters. Alpha Day on the Hill, Alpha PHI. Alpha is a historically black fraternity. Now, since the travel alert was reissued for the Bahamas, there have been 2 more edge sides, including a woman who was unalived during a triple pew-pewing on Ragged Island Street in Nassau on Thursday evening. The Nassau Guardian reported that unaliving happened just as members of the House of Assembly were debating amendments to the Bail Act in an effort to tackle this year's soaring unaliving rate, which Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis said led to a tragic start to 2024. Now, separately, police are investigating 2 separate complaints of assaults against 2 people visiting the Bahamas, a 30-year-old Mexican woman and an 81-year-old Canadian woman. The incidents occurred on Paradise Island after the U.S. alert. Now, Davis has blamed the outbreak of violence on a series of gang retaliations. Despite this, he said in a statement that the incidents described in the January 2024 U.S. Embassy crime alert do not reflect general safety in the Bahamas, a country of 16 tourism destinations and many more islands. The Bahamas, which had 9 million visitors last year, is taking steps to address the increase in crime, he said, and the government remains alert, attentive, and proactive to ensure that the Bahamas remains a safe and welcoming destination. Davis said the country's rating remains at a level 2 alongside most tourism destinations. A State Department spokesperson confirmed that its level 2 advisory for the Bahamas hasn't changed since the country was temporarily placed at level 3 during the COVID pandemic. However, language was included in the new update about water safety. In both December and January, visiting U.S. tourists were attacked by sharks. We have no higher priority priority than the safety and security of U.S. citizens overseas. The spokesperson said, "We take seriously our commitment to provide U.S. citizens with clear, timely, and reliable information so they can make informed travel decisions." In both the Bahamas and Jamaica travel advisories, the State Department notes that the high AIDS-side rate is primarily affecting the local population. It has listed several Jamaican neighborhoods as high risk. Caribbean islands are increasingly becoming battlegrounds for gangs armed by an influx of illegal weapons, lacking training and equipment for their police forces. Tourism-dependent islands often find themselves out pew-pewed. In response, governments have sought to pass together pew-pew legislation and have asked the US and Canada for help. Some island governments have looked for assistance regionally after a wave of federal pew-pewings in the Turks and Caicos. The British Overseas Territory called on the neighboring Bahamas and others to deploy police officers to assist its small force. On Thursday, the Royal Turks and Caicos police confirmed that 2 men were unalived at a popular plaza on Leeward Highway. Now, in a meeting with Vice President Kamala Harris on Wednesday, Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Keith Rowley, whose oil-rich country is also struggling to control violence, said there is a need for better regional security cooperation along with a crackdown on arms trafficking. Rowley also raised the issues in a meeting with Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Now, with all of this that has been said and the US issuing the travel advisory, are you still going for your trip? Share your comments in the comment section down below and let's hear what you have to say about this issue. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.